Money for Ukraine at center of Senate bid to avert shutdown. Senators of both parties are debating whether to include new military assistance for the fight against Russia in any stopgap spending bill to keep the government funded past the end of the month, with the House in chaos over its spending plans. Senators of both parties were deep in negotiations on Monday over efforts to head off a government shutdown this weekend through a stopgap measure and whether to include additional aid to Ukraine in the legislation. Senators and senior staff members engaged in intense discussions over the past few days on how to proceed given the House impasse, officials said, with the Senate taking steps toward an emergency spending bill that would keep dollars flowing to federal agencies after the current fiscal year ends at midnight Saturday. People familiar with the talks said a major sticking point was whether to add up to $25 billion in new assistance to Ukraine to what is formally known as a continuing resolution or to keep the legislation free of contentious provisions in what would be a clean measure that might enjoy broader support among Republicans in the House, which would also have to pass it to keep the government open. Despite broad bipartisan support in the Senate for money for Ukraine, officials said, some Republicans were arguing that it would present an added complication in trying to provide Speaker Kevin McCarthy with a way out of the spending logjam. A significant bloc of House Republicans opposes any more Ukraine funding and would most likely insist that it be stripped out of the bill and returned to the Senate. Slowing any resolution when there is little time to spare. On Monday, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, Republican of Georgia and a close advisor to Mr. McCarthy on the political appetites of the party's base, warned her colleagues against taking up a separate Pentagon spending bill. She said that even a procedural vote to advance that legislation